Ladies and gentlemen, it's Miss Molly McGuire. How you doing, Mol?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Do you know what? It is so lovely to see your face. It really is. Absolute joy to see you there. And where are you? You in the living room?
I am in the spare room with this crazy fireplace behind me. I'm in my parents' house because of the good old lockdown. In Warwickshire. And I've been here for pretty much since the start due to our great friend coronavirus.
Corona.
Corona. Yeah, exactly. So been here for a while, but I'm actually really enjoying being home with my parents anyway, because it's been a while since I've been able to stay. So it's nice.
Oh, well, Molly, listen, you're looking really, really well. It's so lovely to have you. So this is our #MeetOurMasters interview, and we have the amazing Molly McGuire here with us. And so, Molly, we're going to get straight down to it. We've got some amazing interview questions. We're just going to get straight in there to find out a little bit more about Molly McGuire, what makes her tick, who she is and what she does. So let's get straight in there. So, Molly, obviously, you went to drama school, you went to Stratford College. Where did you train? And how did you get into performing? How did it happen?
Yeah, so I trained at Stratford College, where I met the lovely yourself, and I did the 2-year course in musical theatre, and then I went on to train at Performance Preparation Academy, or PPA, in Guildford, and I did their 3-year in musical theatre. And it was a diploma at the time, but I think it's a degree now. I loved it, and I chose it because it was very homely and safe, and that really suited me at the time, and did relatively well there. And then went on to do my 3rd-year shows and my showcase. Got signed. I got signed by Shepherd Management, which were a fantastic agency. And then I actually was auditioning in my 3rd year, and the London revival of Carrie, the musical, came along, and they wanted undergrads to be the cast. So they specifically went into drama schools wanting as many 3rd years as they could possibly get, because they wanted it in a way to be raw and young and fresh, and not polished. My college agent, Russell Hawkins, managed to get me into that.
Wow.
I had 2.5 minutes to make my name, and I sang a bit of Jessie J and got a recall, and there I was. So I played Norma Watson in the London revival of Carrie, and then from there just went on to a few more shows. So in all honesty, I worked really, really hard, as I hope that you know. But I worked hard through the whole 5 years. But I was very lucky to have a show that was casting 3rd years at the time that I was a 3rd year. And that's how I got it. Bullet out of the gun.
Amazing. That's incredible, really. So hang on, let's just dial back a little bit. So before Stratford College, before PPA, before agents, what was it that sparked performance? How far back are we talking? I mean, are we talking 3 years old, pirouetting in the kitchen? I mean, where did it begin? What was the first essence of it?
So I was definitely the lifetime kid. My mum always says that ABBA, Thank You for the Music, is basically written about my life. I could sing before I could talk, and I could dance before I could walk.
Love it.
It was very much just an adoration from the second that I was born. And to be honest, I think the thing that triggered it was Disney films. So I used to watch Pocahontas over and over and over again, and Mulan, and all the ones that had a bigger score than the average. And I just fell in love with the fact that music could tell a story, and that even now in my career is the part of musical theatre that I love. The fact that you're telling a story of anger or love, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, so you have to sing about that, and that really is what connects my happiness to the industry. So I was sent to dance class when I was 3, and I did tap. Yeah, you were bang on.
Great.
And I did tap, modern, jazz, contemporary, jazz, and that was just dance alone. And then I was a festival kid, so I did all the competitions, all my grades, all of that sort of stuff. So I went very much down the, I had the makeup on when I was 4, and it was pasted on my face, and I was and my dance teacher Gail was like, if your cheeks aren't hurting, you aren't smiling enough. So it was full out, but it definitely bred into me my discipline. Like it was training you to be a disciplined dancer, to listen, and even from you were a baby. And then as I got older, I started to work out that really I think that my love sat in singing, and I was about 8. And then my mum gave me the option whether to carry on down. I went to a school called Emerald, that alley, or to go to Stagecoach, which then started to incorporate acting and singing and dance and musical theatre. So I chose Stagecoach and then went there from when I was 9 to when I was 16. So I pretty much grew up in that. So I went to the Leamington branch of that. And then that started to teach me loads about starting to use all three and tell a story through all three.
Yeah.
And that's when I worked out immediately that I would love that. And then as I was getting older, I started to go to West End shows. My first one ever I saw was The Lion King. And I was sat there at 9 years old. I was like, oh my God. And my world just changed. Like as soon as I saw The Circle of Life, I was like sold. Although I will never be in that show for racial reasons, I was completely in love with the show, and then just started to see more and more and more, and really Stratford College were an amazing college, giving us lots of opportunity to like see live theatre. So we saw things like Chess, which was unbelievable, in Birmingham and things like that. And then as the more gritty stories came along, I really knew that I was fully sold. But yeah, from Yay High, I have been wanting and wishing on it. I've always known, and I'm definitely a person where it's not that I really want to do this career. I love it so much that I physically could never see myself doing anything else.
Wow. So it's complete buy-in then, complete sold out Molly McGuire performer.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like I put my eggs all in one basket basically from a really young age, and I don't regret it. Like, well, clearly I don't regret it, but it was definitely, I was sat down a lot throughout my ages by teachers and things like that, because I was always a hard worker, but I was sat down by a lot of people as I was growing up saying, you should do this industry, there's not a lot of surety in it, there's not a lot of money in it, and I was just like, but my heart's in it, so I'm not going to do anything else. Like I cannot wake up every day. Like, what I love about my job now is I don't experience a Monday. So I wake up on a Monday and I go, yes, bang, straight back to work again. And I never want to do that in my life, where I wake up on a Monday morning and go, oh, it's Monday. I have to get up. I have to start my week. So I knew that I was going for the right thing, but it's, as I'm sure we'll speak about, it's not an easy journey, but I'm very glad that I committed to it and I chose to do it.
Awesome. Oh, what a comprehensive answer. Wonderful. Oh, I love that. Okay, so we started at a very young age, and I can see that, and Disney and all that stuff, and dance school, Stratford College, PPA, agencies, and you've been doing, some incredible shows. I mean, you've said already about Carrie. I mean, there was like Kiss Me Kate, there was Jesus Christ Superstar, Fame, Starlight. I mean, my goodness, a real glittering resume of Molly McGuire, if you don't mind me saying. What's a day like? So normally, obviously things are a bit different at the moment. What is a day in the life of Molly McGuire like? Tell us.
When I'm in a show?
Yeah.
Okay. So a normal day for me was I would probably get up around like 10 a.m. Just because you work so late, and by the time the adrenaline's run out of your system, it is like 1 o'clock in the morning before you can cunk. So probably, 9:30, 10 around there. Get up, make some breakfast, love some eggs on toast. And then around midday, 1 o'clock, I'll go to the gym. I'll always try and train alongside performing. I just think that strength and fitness is a massive thing to even get you through the show. Even if you're not doing a massively physical track, it shows on stage if you are fit or not fit. So go to the gym, and then would go back home again, shower, get a bit, semi-presentable. And me personally, my pre-show ritual for a performer is I really, really, really don't like to rush as a performer. So I would normally pack my dinner in a Tupperware box, or if there's a canteen where you work, you can get food there. But I would pack some food, go to the theatre around about like, 5 o'clock-ish, half 5. Warm-up is normally at 6 p.m. So I would normally go in about 5 and just like slowly eat my dinner, and I would normally do my base of my makeup. So I would have 50% of that done, as you normally then would do your warm-up at 6, and it would take you close to the half. And then what I like to do is then finish off and then get my costume on, and then have 15 minutes to do some, I do like bubbling and just a bit of slow warm up and just get myself zoned for the show really. But I've never been a performer where I just bomb it, chuck it, go. I have to be there to chill. Do the show, adrenaline, go home, eat some cereal. Best time of the day to eat it at 12 o'clock at night. Absolutely banging. Cocoa Pops at midnight. Tastes amazing. And then just watch some TV, have a bath, maybe try and calm down a little bit. Because regardless if you've done a show for 1 or 20 nights, the adrenaline is always pumping through you. And then, just get to bed, really. So I think I would say that. And I always try and really look after my voice. So I would rarely do like a nightly drink after a show. I would do it, I'm not like, socially recluse. So I do go for drinks. But I try and not do it as much because I just have one of those voices that has to be
looked after.
Looked after for sure. So that's probably me.
Love it. I love how leisurely that sounds.
It definitely, that has to be me. I think that the show is where the pressure comes up on you enough. So I try and eliminate as much pressure for myself as possible. And I have like friends on my phone, and I'm just eating some dinner and doing a bit of makeup. And I know I've got hours and hours to the show, but I feel like as I'm in the theatre, I'm slowly zoning up for the show. Like I'm slowly there, and I'm just like, okay, I'm going to work now. And by the time that by the time the quarter's called, I'm mic'd, I'm costumed, I have my makeup on, and I'm just sat maybe reading an article on my phone or whatever, and I'm just really, really calm. And that for me is what I have to do. I can't be, still getting changed, and it's all really last minute.
Yeah. So do you know what? Right. Here's a question. So we all know a lot of people that work in sort of theatre and all this and whatever. Your like Zen approach sounds absolutely amazing. How do you maintain it when stagey Sandra comes in late and her hair isn't right and she's dropped her phone in the toilet and she's just going absolutely nuts, literally kicking up a storm? How do you keep Molly McGuire when that's happening?
So sometimes it is really difficult, and it changes depending on your cast. And sometimes I've been in a dressing room with 14 other people. Sometimes I've been in with 6 in a very small room. And with Fame, I normally there was only 2 of us. It was only me and another girl. And Hayley, who's a dear friend of mine now, we had the same feeling. That's really good when you meet someone in a room that's got the same vibe as you. We were just very like, it was cool, it was chill. We were both doing our makeup, like very cool. So I think for me, if I had someone who's the complete opposite of me, that's where headphones completely come into play. Headphones are everything. I use headphones in auditions like no tomorrow. I don't like getting zenned out. I don't like people try and trip me up. I really don't like it. So before a dance audition, I'll have them in. I normally play really tunes like, Eye of the Tiger, The Final Countdown, things that are making me really like revved up. And it just means that people aren't going to ask me, have you done this? Have you done that? I've heard this is what they're looking for. I've heard that. You don't know what they're looking for.
No.
You don't know what they're looking for. Nobody knows. Unless you're on the casting panel, you don't know what they're looking for. So I'll sit in my little bubble and I'll do my stretches because all I can concentrate on is what I can give to the stage. That's all I can. So that's what I tend to do. And it's the same in the dressing room. So I'll have a film on or music on, and just slowly be in my own little bubble. And all I can then see is that I can just see it, but I can't necessarily hear it.
Okay.
And then as the quarter comes, and for example, in Fame, I had quite a big story to tell. So I needed to just think about where I'm starting, where my middle point is, and where my end point is. So at the quarter, I would remove myself from the room and then just sit in a corridor and just sit in the calm and just sit in a chair and just have a bit of music on and just think about, okay, what's my first plot? What's my first line? What's my first note? And just think about where I'm starting. And I would just have to remove myself slightly. But every performer is different. I'm just one of those types of people where I just need to start the show in just a really like focused place. Just because I think that like I need energy, absolutely. I do the whole like, woo, woo, come on. But I think that, yeah, mentally for me, if I feel really like off place in space, that is on the nights of fame where I blanked or I made mistakes. It's because I was going in. Maybe I was, late because I'd seen someone for a coffee or whatever. Like those were the nights because I just wasn't as.
Yeah.
Other night.
Wow. Do you know, I think that's really amazing. Just insight there into how you prepare. That's incredible. That's really, really valuable. Love that. It's all, it's all in that preparation. It's like you're sort of warming to the temperature of the theatre, like your climate or environment is changing, and you're allowing yourself to acclimatise.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going in as one person and becoming another person, and then you're leaving that person behind, and that doesn't take 20 minutes. That takes, so as I'm getting my makeup on and I'm just really calmly going, I'm at work now. Like this is the time where I'm gonna gear up. And I just think that, people have their commute to work, and on their 2 hours, they go, what have I got to do today? I've got to do this, and I've got to send that file off today. And that's what they're doing on the commute. And it's the same as an actor. You need to sit there and go, okay, I've got the mirror, okay, I've got the stage, I need to put the mic, I must remember to do that, and that's, and if you don't allow that time, and you've got the half, and that's literally it, you're just on the stage, and it's like, bah, 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 open, and you're like, whoa, there's 2,000 people.
Yeah.
And you've got a responsibility, and they've spent money on tickets, and you just feel really not there. Like, there were some nights, I felt completely immersed in Serena, and I wasn't even thinking as myself, I was thinking as her. So it was just, and I just gave myself that time to just become her like that. But hey, I don't know, every act is different. Some they can just get in, do the job, but not me.
Love it. Okay, so let's talk now about, so obviously Starlight. So Starlight is your sort of most recent job that you've landed. And obviously it's quite a unique show for various reasons. Yeah. And for you, obviously being in Germany, singing and performing, in German, on wheels. So how was it like going to Germany and rehearsing like a show like that in another country, in another language, and then just to add, the fun of wheelie feet? How was that?
It's been the most difficult and best experience I have ever done. It's been incredible. So we have the team in Starlight are incredible anyway. They guide you through it. So we have language classes, we have phonetics classes to make sure that we sound German. Because you're doing it for German people, so it's your responsibility to do it for them, not vice versa. So we have that. So that side of it's fine. The singing side of it, I really enjoy anyway. It's just that to me, it's just like funny sounds right now. Hopefully I'll learn what I'm saying soon. So it's brilliant. When you get to the really good, like the really well-known songs, like There's a Light at the End of the Tunnel, you know what you're singing, but you're just, in your head, you're laughing. So that's really fun. And the skating side of it for me has been the biggest push of it. It's really physical. It's really hard. I've sprained my wrist twice. I've had some really nasty falls, black and blue every day. But then you have these days when, within 4 weeks, I was like speed skating around the Starlight Express Stadium. And 4 weeks ago, I physically couldn't stand on my skates. Like I couldn't stand up in them.
Wow.
So you make progress. And then, in the morning, you're like, okay, our director's American. He's like, oh, let's do a warm up on the stage, guys. And you're there like whizzing rounds and you're thinking, wow, like I can skate. Like this is mad. So in a way, you have these days you are like so close to being like, I just want to crumpet and a hug. I just want to stop. I like someone just embrace me. But then you're like, you walk away and you're like, it's fine. I'm gonna be fine. Tomorrow's a new day, and you get back in, and then that's the day that you do it. That's the day that you do 3 turns on your skates. You're like, whoa, that's insane. So it's definitely been. It takes a very special mental mindset to do Starlight. But when you do it, it just feels amazing. It feels incredible. So I'm really excited to start again. I never opened the show before everything closed.
Wow, okay.
So I've never worn my costume, my wig, I've never been mic'd, I've never done a dry run. So I'm really excited to go back and see what it will look like. So
You must be bursting. All of that work, all of that prep, and it never... Oh my
Yeah, so
goodness.
we've literally just done the skating part of it, and we haven't learnt the show bit yet. So we've still got to do the rehearsals of the show, the tech run where all the stage amazingly moves, and there's fireworks and pyros and crashes and everything like that. And then to open it. So yeah, I feel really proud to be part of it, and I'm really glad that I said yes to the contract.
Amazing. Okay, so that leads us nicely on to the next question, which is about what would you say is your biggest high point as a performer? So obviously Starlight's been an incredible experience. You've learned some incredible skills on an incredible show in like a custom built theatre in Germany. Yeah. What would you say for you so far, as a performer, what's been a real highlight for you as a performer so far?
I think a highlight would have to be Spain, just because of the role that I was given.
Right, okay.
And there was a moment in the show where she sang a song called Think of Meryl Streep. And the song was just everything that I would want in a musical theatre song. Yeah. It had belting, and there was character movements, and she was fast and erratic, and it was just such a good song to sing. Anyway, at the end of the song, she does this kind of like Elphaba moment where she has her final note. And the lighting was really cool, and it was all like it was coming out of my arms, and it looked amazing. And that was definitely, every night I got to sing that song. That was the song where I was like, this is why I have cried, sweated, broken down, lost everything and rebuilt myself back up again. It was for this moment. So I did that every day and felt so proud that, it was my name. It was my name on the mic and my name on the dressing room, and it was my role, and I made her. So that was cool. But probably the moment was when I did that on my West End press night.
Wow.
Because that was like, man, I was like, my 9-year-old self would be like tripping right now if she was in the audience. So, so that was like a moment where I was like, this is like so gnarly. Like, I can't believe that not only do I get to have a West End press night, I get to have like a solo in a West End press night.
Yeah.
Which is great. Although I was like sweating profusely, like in the half-hour call, I was like, like I was so nervous, but it was just everything, and my parents were there, and it was just, it was amazing.
And you did sing it ever so well. You really did. That
was from years of your vocal training. That's why.
Whipping you into shape. But my goodness, it is the Elphaba moment, isn't it? And it really is. And the song just it builds and builds and builds. And gosh, when we saw you, and effortless, incredible. It's incredible. Like a bell.
It was just such a privilege to be able to bring a character that I think was a lot like me anyway to life. So that was very cool.
Awesome. Right. Okay. So we've thought about high points. Has there been, again, as a performer overall, has there been a low point? Has there been a hit to the bottom? Has there been like a bump that sort of maybe knocked you a bit? And if there was, how did you bounce? How did you come back from that? What did you do?
Massively. So I had a part of my career where I didn't work for a year and 7 months.
Wow.
So I was unemployed for, a good year and a half in 2016. And of course, it knocked my confidence left, right, and center. I thought, hang on a minute, I'm doing something, I was doing something right, and I'm doing something wrong now. Like, what am I doing wrong that I'm not necessarily getting recalls? And I think the most frustrating part of it was I was, in a really, non-egotistical way. I was getting to finals, and I was getting so close to the end, and I could taste the show. And that was almost more painful than getting cut in the first round, because you were like, I'm doing something right. There's something that I'm doing that's like clearly employable, but there's like right at the end, there's not necessarily something. And to be honest, that to me really, really, destroyed my own self-confidence, but taught me an enormous lesson, and my biggest lesson in the industry, in the fact that year was the year that I learned that sometimes you get cut and it has nothing to do with you at all. So that was the year where I truly think that I built my armor. And I think that armor is something that you 100% need if you want to be in this industry, because you need to understand that preparation, absolutely fail to prepare to fail. Without your preparation, you have nothing. If you walk in and you blanked or you didn't learn the material as well as you thought you could have learned it, it's your fault. Like, it is your fault. But I think that, you know, there was a couple of times where I was prepared and I did deliver, and it was just, I might have been too tall, too small, my hair was too brown, my eyes were too far apart, and those are things that you're just not going to be able to change. So I think what I got back from that and how I pinged myself back is I took a step back from the industry 100% and just looked at myself and looked at kind of who I wanted to be. And when I was at that age, I was auditioning for the shows and thinking, okay, so what do they want to see? How should I dress because of what I think they're looking for on the day? What should I sing and what they're looking for? How should I sing? How should my hair be? And actually, what I was doing was taking the best part of that away, which was myself.
Yeah.
So I took a step back and I looked at it thinking, hang on a minute. I, as a person, deliver so much for how I want to dress and how I want to wear my hair and the song that I want to sing. And I might deliver something to that character that they never thought of until I presented it in the room. So on the day of fame, it came along, and really I never thought I had a shot in the show because I was like, it's a dancing musical, can't touch my toes. And I was thinking, do you know what, let's just have a go. And this character came through, and it was like, you know, her breakdown came through, and you know, she's nerdy, and she's like, I'm nerdy. And it's like, she's a bit, you know, she's a bit weird. I was like, I'm weird.
Yeah.
So she came through, and she was like 20, you know, young 20, and a big belt. And I was like, right, okay, I feel like this is cool. And then there was a side of it that said she was like, you know, a bit like a Sandra Dee character. And I was like, I'm not necessarily like that. But anyway, let's have a go. So I went to the day in like bobber boots, like DM bobber boots, and like jeans and like a big t-shirt. And I was like, you know what? I'm also running out of clothes. Let's just work with this. And on the day I was outside of the room, and all of these girls were in these like sundresses and character shoes, and I was like, oh no, I clearly made a massive mistake here. I went, who are you auditioning for? And they were like, Serena. I was like, no, I've made a massive mistake. And they had, you know, blonde hair flowing, and I was like, oh my God. Like Molly McGuire, I was like, yeah, right, walk into my funeral, come on then. And I sort of walked in, and I just presented what I thought she was, which was just this klutz and like clumsy and kind of a bit all over the place. And really get herself together. And I dressed, you know, what I would wear and like, you know, how I thought of that character. And I just brought myself to the character instead of, if I hadn't had that year out, I probably would have worn a dress saying, let's try and make myself something that I'm necessarily not. And little did I know, you know, I changed the character, and David De Silva, the creator of the show, came up to me in Manchester and was like, you've made that character something I never thought.
Wow.
But she's now this. So it's just about you know, bringing you. And of course, you know, maybe don't go in a mini skirt to Les Mis, and don't wear, you know, a pair of like leather trousers to Hairspray. You know, try and dress appropriately, but definitely never lose yourself. Never lose like what you can bring to a character and what you can bring to a room. And that is what 2016 gave me. And so since then, I've just been like, yeah, like there'll be something about you that they're like, oh yeah, like that's really good in the character. Yeah. She's brought something different there. So
completely different spin on it, and it totally paid off for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was trying to conform to what I thought everybody wanted, rather than actually being like, this industry is full of so many beautiful individuals, and that's why they have to see 500 girls, because they don't know which one is that. But don't try and, you know, guess what they want. Just be you, and there'll be something about you that they want.
I love that. And to quote a line from Les Mis, who am I? Who am I? I'm Molly McGuire.
2, 4, 6, 2, 1. Exactly.
Awesome.
There you go.
Oh, I love that. Okay. So if we then were to think about, like, obviously, so you'd had a bit of a bump at the bottom, and you picked yourself up, and you'd smashed, by the sounds of it, absolutely smashed this fame audition, and you'd landed this part. Like, who or what is the inspiration? What keeps you going? Who is it, or is there something, like, what drives you? What gives you that fire in your belly to say, I'm going to be Molly McGuire? What or who?
Gosh, I probably don't know. I probably don't know who. I'm inspired by so many people in the industry. I watch videos of my friends, and I'm like, that's amazing. Like, I am definitely a performer where I get so happy when people book shows, and I love going to see my friends in shows. So I think I always stay inspired by people currently around me, because talent's amazing, and talent comes in every single form. So definitely that, but really the thing that keeps me driving always is, as much as I know the down days and it feels so dreadful, I think anybody that wants to do this industry knows that feeling, that one feeling that you get on stage when you're like in the finale number, or you're in, you know that feeling, and it's in a mega mix, and it's like your whole body is just radiating with just happiness and joy, and you want to laugh and cry all at the same time, and you don't know if you're going to be sick because you just know what's happening, and it's just like all of the emotions are just pouring out of you, and you can see, you know, women who are like out on the lash having a great night, and you're like, yeah, you're out, come on, have a dance. So it's all of that, and you are making 2,000 people a night feel something and believe in a story, and you're moving them in a sad way or lifting them up in a happy way, and for 2 hours they can forget their filing or something tough going on in their life. You take them away from that. So really the only thing that's ever kept me driving is just, I know I have those down days and I have those times of being unemployed, but I just know that feeling that I get, and I want that feeling again. And that feeling keeps me training and keeps me going to the gym and keeps me trying to stay on top of it, because I want that feeling. And like, I know that it's the only sense of euphoria, in all honesty, I feel in my life.
Wow. Gosh, that is, you've gone deep, Molly. You've gone deep and profound. Deep and profound. Your two middle names.
Brilliant.
Deep and profound.
Brilliant. Deep and profound.
Incredible. Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. Okay, so if you were, let's just say we've got people maybe who are watching who are like 16, 17, maybe at the start of their career, start of their training. What was your sort of one thing that you'd say, or a tip, or something that you could just impart? What is the gift from Molly McGuire this evening across Zoom that they can have from you? What would it be?
I think it was like a combination, but what I definitely told myself at the start of my drama school experience was never waste a day. Do not waste a single day of your training. And that also ties in with the fact that don't be afraid. So don't waste a day, don't be afraid, just attack it, because the thing is that when you're in drama school and you're doing these exercises and you're singing a song, it is designed for you to fail. You are there to fail and fall flat on your face. You are there to crack. You are there to blank. That is the reason that you're there. If you were perfect, you'd be on the West End. That's it. So don't waste it. The days that you get up and you're like, you know, your legs are sore, you might have pulled your back out, or you've got a cold, go into college. Drag your bum into college and get in there and just try anything that you can. Be in that room. You know, I think overall, out of my 3 years, I had about 2 sick days.
Wow.
Out of my entire 3 years where I was really at home. And every other day I was injured and I'd lost my voice and all that stuff, but I was still in college because I physically did not want to stop learning. And one of the things that I wish I had done more is the don't be afraidness, because they'll always go, you know, okay, well, we're going to do animal studies today, so who wants to have a go? And I wish I was like, yeah, I do. I want to have a go. Let's do it. Because without that attitude, I was going, oh no, you know what? I'll wait for somebody to go and then I'll go. I'll just see someone do it first. And then all of a sudden the bell goes and you've lost a lesson. Yeah. And you've paid for that lesson with your money and your time. Yeah. So, you know, the opportunity then goes, and you've not had that one-on-one experience with your teachers of them being able to expand you as a performer, and you've just wasted your own time and your own money. And those 3 years are a constant ticking clock all the way down. It's inevitable. You're leaving, focus is happening, and the only thing I can say to you is you have an empty room, and it's what you give in that empty room. It's the time and the dedication and the attack that you give in those rooms. Nothing else. Drama school can't give you anything else. So yeah, don't waste a day. Do not, you will have days where you want to just cry and eat macaroni cheese in bed. Get up, go into college. Believe me, I've been there. But go into college and attack it. And yeah, any opportunities that arise, say yes. What's the worst that can happen? You're in college. You're surrounded by friends and teachers that want to support you. So say yes. Even if you fail, say yes.
I love that. Hashtag never waste a day. Hashtag don't be afraid. I think that, from Molly McGuire.
Never waste a day.
Never waste a day. That's like a song from a show. That's got to be like the finale of Act 1, isn't it? Surely.
Never waste a day.
Love it. I can hear it like it's Bring On Tomorrow, but never waste a day.
But yeah, I would definitely say that, just because when I look back now, the training is so fleeting. You think, you start strategizing, you're like, I've got 5 years, and it's like, bam, you're like, oh, and it's like, it's your showcase.
Wow.
So it's very quick. So enjoy it and have fun. Like, have loads of fun. It's great. You do the most silly of things, but you look back and it's the best time of your life.
Wow, I'm loving this. Very profound from you this evening, Ms. Molly. Very profound.
Thanks, man.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Right, well, you've made it through to the bonus section, Molly.
Bonus.
The bonus section. Oh my goodness! And these are some sort of funny and fun little questions that we ask at the end of our interview. So, funniest moment when it's happened on stage or on a show or whatever. What is the moment where it all just went?
I think probably for me, my funniest moment has probably actually got to be in Jesus Christ Superstar, where we were in the temple scene, which is like you're in like a market and you're all selling pots and pans and Jesus robes. And I basically had a costume where I was like a pot seller.
Nice.
So I had a pot here and like a pot here, and I had like one on my belt, and I had a pot on my head, and I was like, you want to buy a pot? And basically, we had this stage that was, because the cross lifted out of the stage for the crucifix, the stage had a step on it. And I was like, and it was like, and it was all starting. And I ran on and absolutely stacked it. Like, when I say stack it, there was literally like beads and like, there's just everything fell out of these pots. Like, I went absolutely flying. I couldn't even hide it. I had a strap around my head so the pot stayed on my head, and I was like, and there was just like pots everywhere. Like, and I was front and center. There was just no hiding it. I was front and center, and literally everyone was singing, and it was just like, no one up to the crisis, come on, and just watching me. No one helped me. I was just there like pop, like just It was awful. It was a moment in my life. There was just no coming back from it, and I just couldn't cover it. I just had, and I was like just popping all these beads back in the boxes for the rest of the song. It was just, it was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And I love that all of the company just sort of looked at you like,
oh, they just looked at me on the floor.
Yeah. Clear it up.
Yeah. Absolutely went flying. I dropped both the pots. There was like spices and herbs, and I was wearing this toga looking like a strange Grecian goddess. It was just,
brilliant.
It was very, it was pretty carnage, but that was probably my funniest moment, just because I was like crying with laughter, and then Jesus walks in and he's like, what's going on? I was like, with like tears rolling down. Literally this mental pot woman with beads everywhere in the corner, clearly just leading the entire show from Jesus.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So that was probably
brilliant.
it.
Oh, you've made me chuckle. Brilliant. Well, I mean, obviously adorning yourself with pots, I mean, is quite a significant costume. But my next one is, what is your most ridiculous costume you've ever had to wear? I mean, is it the pot costume, or does it get even weirder?
No, it's not the pot costume. My most ridiculous costume would be in Kiss Me Kate, where I was like, we were rehearsing for weeks and weeks on end, and I would learn a tango with my partner, and we got to the costume day of the dry run, and I put my dress on, and I was like, and this dress was like, it kind of looked a bit like a dress from Seven Brides, Seven Brothers, so it was all gingham, and it was like really big on me, and I was thinking, this is really weird. Like, I've done a costume check, and like they definitely know my measurements. And so I was, doing the dance and things like that, rehearsing it and all that sort of stuff. And we're about to go on stage, and they were like, Molly, do you have your pregnancy bump? And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
My what now?
And they're like, do you have your pregnancy bump? And I was like, my pregnancy bump, I'm pregnant in the show. Of course I am. Brilliant. So all the other girls had these like corseted, beautiful, like tailored dresses. And then I literally looked like a dancing planet. When I say that it was the funniest, like the costume itself wasn't really that bad, but I honestly looked like an orbit. Like I was orbiting my partner. I was like, beep, 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 beep. It was honestly, I was enormous. This pregnancy bump was like I was going to give birth any day. It was enormous. And then we had learnt the tango. And obviously like close to each other. And then we had this massive, but then my partner was like, because I then had this massive bump on. I was like, I didn't know I was pregnant.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So yeah. And then my partner then, and then we did the scene after. And then the director was like, so then in the scene, you need to get the alcohol and you need to have a fag. I was like, oh, so I'm drinking and smoking and I'm pregnant. Cool. Yeah. But I was this like crazy character who I just like sat in the corner with a pram with like a cigarette in one hand and a beer in the other.
Oh, brilliant.
She was amazing, but it was definitely like my funniest costume to move in and to do the showings. Like I looked ridiculous, and all the other girls had like hats and feathers and fascinations. I just looked like their strange teenage pregnant friend. It was awful. That was it, probably. Definitely.
That's hilarious. You orbiting the company. That's hilarious. Oh, absolutely brilliant.
100%.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so last couple of questions then now, coming into land. So, favourite show or gig that you've ever done? What is it?
Okay, so my favourite show that I've ever done is actually probably Jesus Christ Superstar.
Okay.
Just because I love the music. I'm obsessed with the show. I absolutely adore it. So I played an apostle woman number 3, smashed it. She's the best in the whole show. And and every single night being in the wing and just hearing that dun, 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 I was like, I love my job. It was insane. And just when you did, Superstar and he resurrects from the dead, you're thinking, it was definitely one of those shows. I was young in it, but I just knew that I was part of something really, really special. So definitely that one was my favorite, just from like a fandom point of view, always wanting to do Jesus Christ Superstar. And definitely being inspired by the older actors in the show and just being like, wow, the vocalists on this are insane. Probably one of my favorite shows as a show is probably Rent. I adore Rent. I would absolutely love to be Maureen one day if I could. Yeah. I just think that every song is just a hit and it's amazing. So yeah, probably Rent.
Fabulous. Right. Well, Molly, the final question. Now, this is a pretty serious one. This is pretty intense. This is the one that I haven't told you what it is. Okay. I'm ready. You can tell a lot about a person by the answer of this question. So think carefully. Yeah. If you need a second to compose yourself, the time is yours. So no pressure. Okay. Molly McGuire, what is your favourite flavour of ice cream?
I think I'm going to have to go with the one that immediately came to my head.
Okay.
Which is a rum and raisin.
No way.
Yeah.
Rum and raisin.
Zoom 5.
The Zoom 5. Love it.
Yeah.
It's misunderstood though, isn't it?
It's amazing. It's like creamy and the raisins add texture.
Oh, and boozy.
It's boozy. It's beautiful. It's amazing.
Boozy ice cream. I mean, what more could you ask for?
I just love it. And it tastes amazing with every dessert. And you put a rum and raisin and it's just completed the meal.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Amazing. And do you know what the thing is? You say to people, and they say, what's your favourite ice cream? You go, well, rum and raisin. And they look at you like you're from the planet Zog.
Oh, you get judged. You get judged daily.
All the time.
And you're like, it's a personal choice. You leave me alone.
Don't knock it. You've tried it.
Exactly. I'll be drunk in a park, and you won't.
Oh, I love that. Well, listen, Molly, it has been an absolute joy to have you on our #MeetOurMasters and get to know you and hear about these amazing, wonderful showbiz stories. And just to hear that it's rum and raisin, oh my goodness, what a connection. So if you're out there and you've watched this and you think, wow, this Molly, she's just incredible. Yes, she is. You need to follow her on social media. She's also on our website. She's listed. You've got her bio on there. You can read all about her at www.mtda.uk. It's all on there. You can follow us on our social handle, which is We Are MTDA UK, and all the information is there. But Molly, listen, it's been so great. Thank you so much. We're so looking forward to seeing you very, very soon at a masterclass with us. And yeah, just thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I've had the best time, and I'm very excited to let's get boogie and do some teaching. Excited.
Awesome, lovely. Safe journey home. We'll see you soon, Mol.
See you soon. Bye.